What is a city slicker? Is it just like a? Is it like a? Is it like a yuppie? Is it like just somebody who? I don't know. Where's J Crew and I don't know, has a yacht.
People with no prairie experience.
Do you consider yourself to be a city slicker or somebody with prairie experience? Where do you fall? Where do the cards fall for Steve Gelber? There's two kinds of people in this world. On a very special episode, a birthday episode, as it were. Hey, Steve, you remember it's my birthday?
What?
It's my birthday today. That's why I'm here today. I'm 30 years old.
Yeah.
30 years young. On a very special episode, a birthday episode of Nobody's Deathmatch, we'll be talking about City Slickers, a movie that was chosen for the purposes of enhancing my sense of appreciation for aging. Because Billy Crystal in this movie, he has just turned 39, even though he's actually 42 when this movie is being filmed.
Whoa,
fucking liar.
Nice trivia.
Yeah, let's see the birth certificate of Billy Crystal. He just turned 39, and he is having what some might call a midlife crisis. He's in a dead-end job. His children are god-awful. Mm-hmm. Jake Gyllenhaal is a child.
Oof.
So Billy Crystal turns 39. He's having a midlife crisis. Children suck. Wife is,
Wife doesn't suck enough.
I wouldn't write home about the...
Sorry.
So he's needing an adventure, which comes in the form of going with his two buds, played by Bruno Kirby and Daniel Stern.
Wow.
Thank you.
Good job. You didn't even look at his notes.
You didn't even know that Jake Gyllenhaal was in this movie. Fuddy duddy. Daniel Stern, and they decide to go on some kind of cattle drive adventure. Do you think that's a real thing? Do you think people can actually, do you think city slickers can actually go out to New Mexico and drive the cattle for some kind of weird, bachelorette getaway experience? Or
Bachelorette?
I'm referring to the show Bachelorette. Do you know? Okay. Okay, so we got through the...
Birthday boy.
Birthday boy has a squeaky chair. Squeaky chair for the birthday boy. I feel like this birthday is basically just your birthday part 2.
Yeah.
It's basically we're just hanging at your house. All your friends who I've
Acquired.
who I've captured like their Pokemon, they are now mine. And I'm releasing them onto my own birthday.
Yeah. First
So
Pokemon joke of the podcast.
It will be the last. That's the last Pokemon joke. Mark the time and date, everybody.
Let's lay it to rest. It maybe should be mentioned that they have a history of going on these adventures.
Yes, they do. Because actually the opening scene of City Slickers is
a weird one.
It's weird. It's a cold open. Maybe it's actually a hot open. I think it's a hot open because they're running through the streets of Spain.
Sure.
Spain town, Spain.
Yeah.
The running of the bulls. And Billy Crystal's all decked out in his I Love New York wear. Did you notice that? He's just
yeah.
He's that annoying American who goes to other countries and is just wearing his home country's he's got his New York Yankee or Mets hat on or something like that. His shirt just says New York.
Yeah.
He's I don't like him. I don't like what he's wearing.
I think it's in case he gets
if he
in
gets
trouble.
lost.
Yeah.
If he gets knocked out by a bull, they'll be
Right.
oh, send
Someone
this guy
can
back to New
return him.
York, and then that's smart.
See, is this...
Do you do that when you go out of town? do you do that when you go out of your house? You just wear a picture of your house on your shirt, so they'll send you back to your place on Mitchell Train.
tasty joke.
Yeah, so running with the bulls, and it seems like Bruno Kirby, who has a mustache that
Can't be stopped.
just cannot quit. His mustache won't quit. It's it's
working overtime.
it's like a shoe brush. I could use his mustache to brush my Perry Ellis Oxfords
Barry Ellis. Dude, sick ref.
It's very very rough,
sick
very rough mustache hairs.
How do you know that they're
Probably,
rough?
I can just tell.
I thought they looked like they'd be pretty smooth. Like if they brushed up against my cheek, maybe, or I don't know.
No, I think if you were if you were the kind of man who'd kiss Bruno Kirby on the lips, I think you'd probably be getting some kind of chafing action. I thought about this.
Only one way to find out.
My 6 pages of notes are just drawings of
Diagrams.
his mustache and my chafed lips. So, but he seems to be kind of the ringleader of like their Adventure Time stories and all that. Like,
He's definitely like pushing for more adventure all the time.
Daniel Stern he's a little
Submissive.
He's a little submissive. He kind of seems a little bit more like, well, whatever. I don't need to describe him, but I will say, Daniel Stern carries City Slickers on his back. He is by far my favorite character in this movie.
Yeah.
I identified most with him, and then Bruno Kirby. My favorite part, one of my favorite quotes of Daniel Stern in this movie is just how he constantly introduces him, like after so I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyways,
So excited.
I know. He early on in the movie, Daniel Stern has like a falling out. No, he has a divorce from his wife basically because he cheated on her with
Right.
the cashier,
Checkout girl.
the checkout girl at the grocery store.
Bart Simpson.
I want to talk about that.
girl.
That was one of my trivia questions. Actually, Lisa Simpson.
Oh, fuck.
Fuck you.
I was going to say Lisa.
So that's 0 of 1 for trivia. We'll get to trivia later. Keep your panties on. We'll get back to it later. Lateral move.
Okay. Edit all that out.
Edit it back in. What I like about Daniel Stern is he introduces himself being like, "Hello, I'm Phil Bergquist. I lost my wife.
Yeah.
I lost my family. I lost my job." And that's like how he just introduces himself to two people.
I like it too.
And that's probably how I would do that too.
Yeah.
He's like a more hyper version of like my. You caught that he was pretty like misogynistic in this movie. Like his comments about like I think they're riding horseback and there's like the love interest that ends up with Daniel Stern at the end of the movie. She's like riding on the horse. And then he's he's riding behind and he's like, God, I would give anything to be that saddle right now.
Yeah.
Oof.
Which
That's like a hyper version of me.
That's a perfectly natural impulse to have, but
To be the saddle, to be the inanimate object
To
that
want to
doesn't
be
even
a-
have a central nervous system that could even be stimulated by a woman's ham hocks just slapping against your leathery hide. You're not going to feel anything for that.
he has sexual desire, which is fine, but he's reducing.
But I'm telling you, a saddle could not have sexual desire.
So it's gonna be like this, is it?
Yeah.
All right. Strap in, boys.
Strap in, good. City Slickers, because they kind of strap in their little boots and the the saddle stirrups. What's a stirrup?
It's the thing you put your foot in.
All right.
The thing that hangs
You're
off the
one
saddle.
of 2 for trivia now.
Wow, we're doing the trivia early.
Cue in music for trivia.
That was a really strange opening scene for me though, because they had that super goofy saxophone rock music,
Yes.
and like it was like people getting gored by a bull.
No, the whole soundtrack was totally like appalling or whatever. Like nothing really matched up. For the most part, it was just like
For a little while, there was some like good old frontier type music when they first arrived, and that felt
that's true.
nice. But everything else was like
I would have liked it to have been like you know how Johnny Greenwood, how he did "There Will Be Blood" soundtrack. I'd like it to be like Johnny Green, like just like not really matching up with like the comical hijinks. If it was just like really like intense, like
yeah.
you know.
That's a good joke. Johnny Greenwood doing the City Slickers soundtrack.
And then they could just like put in some like Radiohead tracks for certain scenes too.
All right.
Have like Letdown during
A letdown.
a letdown. That's good. Very good, Steve.
Wow. I'm really
We
getting
should
the
be
hang
like
of this.
musical consultants for movies.
Hey, you know that part in your movie you have a letdown?
I got a great Radiohead song for you. Other than the soundtrack,
Oh,
Let's back.
Yeah, let's
We're
back
gonna get
up.
to the credits, right?
Yes.
The opening credits.
Yes,
Yeah, but
please.
let's back up. So, watching this movie, I didn't really remember a whole lot of it at all. At most, I remembered the running of the bulls scene, but I didn't really remember anything else. Did you watch this as a kid? And
yeah, I saw it a couple times as a kid, I think, mostly probably on TV.
yeah, do you remember liking it at that time?
I don't really like remember Billy Crystal so much because I did think watching it now too, his character was like kind of flat. I know he was supposed to be depressed and like kind of a shell of a man or whatever. But you would think with Billy Crystal, he still have a little sparkle in his eye somewhere, something, or be.
I thought he was sparkle. I mean, like
I don't know.
He makes like every word out of his mouth is a wisecrack about I don't know cows.
There's
and
something
dumb
lackluster.
cowboy puns and stuff.
Yeah. What I mean to say is
He wasn't winning any Oscars from the Academy of Galbraith, huh?
Jack Palance was
One. Wait, go
What?
on. No, you.
Is this another trivia?
I don't want to step on your shoes. I don't want to step on your boots. Go ahead.
Oh, nice,
Thanks.
great.
First of many cowboy references.
Jack Palance was just the thing that really stuck in my mind, like his larger than life presence in this film. Ugh.
Are you aware that someone in this movie won an Oscar?
Was it Jack Palance?
Jack Palance won an Oscar for that, and he dies spoiler alert, he dies half an hour into the movie,
Yeah,
maybe like 25 minutes or something.
right.
So I kind of researched a little bit of the movie before I watched it. Like I told you, I went to the library and went to the deep stacks of
Yes.
City Slicker mythology, and I found out that Jack Palance won an Oscar. So I went into the movie knowing that, just like automatically judging him, just being like, so how does this stack up? Because again, I think it was a shitty year for movies. I think I looked it up, and there wasn't really any other supporting actors that he was competing against, so it was like pretty much a gimme. I
Kind of a one-note performance.
well, everything that Jack Palance says is like a cowboy cliche, just like in a gruff, tough voice.
that voice.
You're spooking the cattle, city folk. You're spooking the cattle. Those are the only two I wrote down.
And you're already changing his last name pronunciation, just so you know.
I'm saying Palance.
You started with Palance, and you're changing
I said
it to
Palance because that's what you said, but
Right.
I think it's Jack Palance.
But now you're breaking off.
I think it's Jack Palance.
Look, I don't even care which one is right. I just don't like when you change the pronunciation midway through something. Mr. Miles per
and that's why
hour.
you're the director.
Yeah. Is it time to talk about the 29-minute long animated credits?
Oh, it is.
Jesus Christ.
Who's the guy who did Ziggy? Tom Wilson. I think Tom Wilson probably did the animation for this fucking opening credit scene. Somehow it ends up being like 10 minutes
Jesus.
of Ziggy cartoons just tormenting me. Just like a cowboy with like a huge Ziggy nose, like in his dumb chaps and like hijinks with cactuses and stuff.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand it, and then I almost wanted to fast forward, but I didn't because I hated it so much. And sometimes I feed on hate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there were just truckloads of like boing noises and like sound effects.
Oh yeah, a lot of lassoing. Yeah.
Oh man.
I can't imagine seeing this movie like actually in the theaters and that being the opening shit that's happening. Like
I'd be gone.
worst opening credits ever.
Yes. True.
So then here's the thing. I had watched the trailer for this movie because, again, I didn't really remember a lot of it. And I watched the trailer, and it looks like the trailer just makes the movie look terrible. It's Billy Crystal just like being pulled by like a lassoed cattle, just going like, I'm on vacation. No.
Yeah, right.
And that's the whole thing. That's like the trailer. And it's like, City Slickers, get it now.
Yeah.
Get it while it's hot. And I lost my train of thought.
Birthday podcast. That's okay, because I really want to talk to you about how 5 minutes into this film, I was already thinking of Billy Crystal's open butthole.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Like he gets gored or something on his butt, and then they're
Yeah.
sewing him up, and he's like, "Hey."
I think in his butt, technically. I think you can get gored on something. You get gored in.
It's your birthday, so I'm gonna let
It's
that
just-
one slide. So they're sewing him up, and he's like, "Oh, whatever's meant to be open back there, keep it open."
Right.
And it's like, fuck, dude. Now you got me thinking of your open butt, not just your butthole, but your
Yeah.
open butthole.
No, that's what I was going to say, though, is like from watching the trailer, the movie looked terrible. And then for the first like 20 minutes or whatever, well, 20 minutes was the opening credits. And then there's,
Right.
then there's 10 minutes of Billy Crystal's butthole imagery. All of that, I was like, oh my God, this movie is really terrible. I regret choosing this.
Yeah.
And it's still pretty bad, like for a while. Like I think
Yeah.
there's an airplane scene somewhere in there, not important. But then it finally does kind of get good again once, like when I get on board for this movie, like again, once Daniel Stern gets on camera. Oh, Daniel Stern, killing it. But when I get back on board is when Billy Crystal goes to young Jake Gyllenhaal's Bring Your Dad to School day.
Yes.
So the scene opens up with like some kid, like Kenny's dad, probably fucking Kenny. His dad is like a construction guy, complete Neanderthal.
Yeah,
but
cursing.
Cursing, and Billy Crystal's just wincing in the back. He's like, oh.
And there's like, you could tell that that actor was actually cursing in front of those children.
Yes.
In the golden age of film where you could curse in front of children. Jesus.
They probably had signed consent from the parents, I'm sure.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
he, the fucking Neanderthal, is like talking about how he like saved a woman by like lifting a car off of her or lifting, I don't know, whatever. But like the kids are just like little elementary boners right across every row.
Come on.
Okay, cut it. They're all enjoying it. They're all enjoying his speech. And then Billy Crystal, who like has the lamest job in the world, he comes up
Yeah.
and then he has to give his speech. And like as he's talking, he's realizing like, I'm not cool. Oh wait, didn't little Jake like tell some lie about what his dad actually did? Do you remember what that was?
Yeah, I don't remember what the lie was, but I remember him lying.
That's like fucked up. Like if
Yeah.
I was Billy Crystal, I'd be like, fuck you, Jake. You call me in here. I take work off for this shit,
Yeah.
and you're telling people I'm something that I'm not, and now you're gonna like put me in this place.
Yeah.
I'm out of here. And I would drop the
Mic
mic.
drop. I knew that was coming.
I would flip his desk with him in it, so then he's pinned under the desk. I'd fart on him, and then I'd walk out.
make out with the teacher
Make out with the
and walk out.
I
Headbutt the
printed-
construction worker.
I printed out the actual quote of what Billy Crystal reads. Would you like to hear it? Am I
Yeah,
Billy
yeah.
Crystal impersonate and voice?
And then maybe as you're doing it, I can do the jerk off motion like that construction worker did.
Oh, I love it. I love the jerk
Which
off.
he also did in front of those
Yeah,
children.
he did. I fucking love that. So wait, tell me if this is like sounds like Billy Crystal. I'm on vacation.
That's the Venture Brothers moth guy voice,
Close enough.
which is every impression.
Value this time in your life, kids, because this is the time in your life when you still have your choices, and it goes by so quickly. When you're a teenager, you think you can do anything, and you do.
This is the longest quote I'm just realizing. It's like a block of like James Joyce prose or something. It's so long.
Your 20s are a blur. Your 30s, you raise your family, you make a little money, and you think to yourself, what happened to my 20s? Your 40s, you grow a little potbelly, you grow another chin. The music starts to get too loud, and one of your old girlfriends from high school becomes a grandmother. Your 50s, you have a minor surgery. You'll call it a procedure, but it's a surgery. Your 60s, you have a major surgery. The music is still loud, but it doesn't matter because you can't hear it anyway. 70s, you and the wife return to Fort Lauderdale. You start eating dinner at 2, lunch around 10, breakfast the night before. I'm losing the voice.
I know you are.
Ugh. And you spend most of your time wandering around malls looking for the ultimate in soft yogurt and muttering, how come the kids don't call? By your 80s, you've had a major stroke, and you end up babbling to some Jamaican nurse who your wife can't stand but you call mama. Any questions?
It's the longest quote I've ever done on this podcast.
That voice makes me feel weird.
Birds chirping.
Seeing life.
But
anew.
that's where I get on board. That's where I'm like, okay, Billy Crystal, you're not just
Yeah, you're still Billy
you're
Crystal.
not just a face, okay? You're not just a beautiful little man. Not an attractive man. We can agree on Billy Crystal. He's not.
The hair is not doing him any favors.
Yeah,
Like permed out, thin,
right.
black hair.
He actually laid. We'll get to that. Never mind. Cut that.
That it was a good monologue. Even though it was like genuinely depressing for me.
Yeah.
Really hit home, especially the very end, like babbling to a nurse.
Right.
Just feeling so alone and yikes.
Bringing it back. Bringing it back. Nobody's Deathmatch. Bringing it back. Bringing it back. And we're back. Talking about City Slickers. Part 1. Because there is a sequel, you know.
Legend of Curly's Gold?
Gold. Which is apparently terrible. I think
Yeah. I only know it because after I watched this one, was like, watch this next. And
Right.
I was like, no.
I think in that one, Jack Pooty, Jack Pooty, he comes back and plays Curly's brother, like his twin brother.
Oh,
That's
God.
fucking the one-off right there. Get out of here, Jack. He's trying to get his second Oscar. He's like, I'll just play the same character. I'm like, come on.
Wow. Oh, that's a good piece of trivia.
What?
I wonder if anyone's ever
Won an Oscar for playing the same character? Like,
yeah, on 2 separate occasions.
Yeah. I think in the plot arc of City Slickers, we are now entering the birthday party scene of Billy Crystal.
This is a good one.
He has a birthday party. Jake Gyllenhaal is still being creepy, doing weird, like, popping his elbow out tricks.
Ugh,
What a
yeah.
fucking weird little kid. And then his daughter is like, I'm going to go, I don't know, scissor Becky or something. I don't know what she's going to do. She doesn't want to stay at the party because it's like, these are a bunch of old people, a bunch of sad Daniel Sterns whose cashier girlfriends are going to show up and be like, Daniel. I like that we're calling them by their actor names. Daniel.
It's lazy.
Wait, can you do a Yeardley, what's her name? Yeardley Smith?
Yeah.
Can you do her voice a little bit? Or no? Seems like you could. You seem like a Lisa Simpson to me.
Daniel.
Oh. Not at all.
Really? Because
I was
thought
more
by your reaction.
I was more surprised. I was like, oh, Steve just did a voice that I've never heard him do before. But nowhere in the ballpark of Yeardley Smith.
Who's the one who does Bart then?
I think it's another woman.
It is. That's
Yeah.
why I thought.
I don't know who it is, though.
All right, fine.
That'll be for Simpsons trivia later in a different episode.
Yeardley.
What am I saying?
Yeardley. No, I'm not correcting you. I'm just ruminating.
I think I was
on
saying
the-
Yeardley.
No, you're fine.
Yeardley Purdley.
What a weird name.
Agreed.
It's almost like someone asks, like, in what manner do your birthdays come? They come yearly. I didn't even fucking have that written down. Right off the top. Happy birthday.
Fucking Christ. So, the birthday party. Yeardley comes and drops the baby bomb on Daniel. Mm-hmm. Daniel's shrew of a wife who has. I was trying to like. She's got a. I couldn't tell if she was sexy or scary. Sometimes those two are interchangeable for me.
Right.
Sometimes I get really scared and then I get turned on. I'm like, ooh.
Like Alien.
Like, she's like the female like Guile from Street Fighter,
Oh, yeah.
mixed a little bit with like
Semi-flat top.
like a backup dancer for Talking Heads. She's got like a weird flat top thing going on,
Yeah, yeah.
but still terrifying. Like she is busting Daniel's balls left and right. His left ball and his right ball.
Yeah.
They're busted.
They're busted.
So she freaks out on him. I don't know. Like I don't know if we're supposed to, but like I automatically felt sided with Daniel because she was such a a heinous woman, and like also it's her and her dad who are basically like have the thumb screws on Daniel, being like, don't forget, Daniel, you have to wake up early at like 4:30 tomorrow to like count the lettuce at the grocery store or something.
Right.
They want him to get up there early. They're terrible, and my heart went out for Daniel Stern.
However, the vow of marriage is a sacred one. It is a promise.
That's right. Regardless of 12 years of blue balls,
Right.
that's the woman that you married. So at the birthday party is where Billy's boys tell him about the cattle drive. They show him like their brochure, which is like the most ridiculous, like cut out like National Geographic pictures of like cows. Just like, here's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be taking these cows to Colorado. Mm. And Daniel Stern is like super excited more than anybody. He's got like an unholy tone of voice where he's like, yeah, cattle drive. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Unholy Boner, which is a good band name.
I think it would have to be like, can you put that down?
Yeah, I need
It'd have
to.
to be.
Wait, can I just do it once? Just
Yes.
To get... Oh, that's satisfying.
What
do
is
it.
that?
Do it.
What are you popping?
Get your thumb in there.
Oh, you're like popping your thumb out?
Yeah.
Oh. That's pretty good.
But get it under the nail. Like, just use the flesh. Use the flesh.
Oh.
Just use the
Oh.
flesh. Yes.
My thumb just got really sweaty.
It's very suddenly.
I got a little too excited. I thought that reminded me of like those poppers or whatever. Do you remember poppers? Did you ever get those? Like the little, I think it's like gunpowder for kids in a little cocaine baggie that you just throw on the ground.
You mean snappers? I think we're done here.
Audience, it's been a good run.
It is with a heavy heart.
So they show Billy the brochure, and Billy's on board, kind of.
Who
You're
wrote this
right.
movie?
I didn't look it up.
I'm
I looked up
disappointed.
who directed it. It's the same guy who directed Tremors and Tremors 2.
Didn't see that one
I
coming.
think he did something else too. I forget though.
Tremors 3?
No. Tremors 4, yes, but not Tremors 3. He was on vacation.
Yeah. Tremors 3 was more of an
He was on a
art film.
cattle drive vacation with his friends, probably.
Sick.
Whoa.
Was it a throwaway?
So basically, wife gives Billy the green light, and then segue, like, not even like a wipe transition. It's just like, pfft, we're in the Wild West. Fuck you, we're in New Mexico now. We're gonna be cowboys. We're gonna be fucking lassoing. We're gonna be having hat montages where we try on different cowboy hats. New York is over. We're out of New York. This is a new frontier, baby.
Damn. I didn't know that when that was going to end.
So they're on this ranch. This is where we get to where Daniel Stern has his awesome quote. The actual quote is, "I'm Phil Berquist. I committed adultery. Lost my job and my family. Oh, I fucking love it." That was my favorite quote of the movie, easily.
There's another really good quote, though. I have it written down, but I didn't attribute it to anybody. If hate were people, I'd be China.
Oh, that's...
Who says that?
It was either Curly or Billy. I don't remember.
It definitely wasn't Curly.
If hate was what? People, I'd be China?
If hate were people, I'd be China.
Do you know what that means?
What do you mean?
If hate were people... Oh!
You know how
I just got it. Yeah.
China's
China's a lot of people, so I'm a lot of hate. That's it. If hate were people, I'd be China.
The more you
I
say
guess my
it,
mind just went to like, there must be some weird in 1991 or whenever we are there. Whenever we are. Idiot. Fucking idiot mouth. There must have been something going on geopolitically with China.
God, you're always with this.
Hey, secretary, bring up China Wikipedia search enhanced 1991. Was there any kind of Billy Crystal spat with China? No? All right, thank you, secretary. A couple of things that happened that are really stupid, that I think are stupid at the ranch as soon as we get there, is they basically do like ranch roll call where they just introduce all the characters that you're gonna like know for the rest of the movie. So it's like, hi, I'm the ranch guy. Hi, we're the black dentist and black dentist's son. Hi, we're the Ben and Jerry's annoying fucking ugly men.
I like them, actually.
I don't care for him. But then, I'm wait, what was the name of the chef? Chefy or something?
Cookie.
Cookie, there you go.
So close.
I'm Cookie. I make the brown food for you.
Yeah.
They just do the whole roll call. I thought that was, I don't know. I kind of hated it, but I kind of liked it at the same time. I was like,
charming.
oh, yeah.
It's kind of along the lines of the credits, showing all the, the old style credits where it would show the people in a freeze frame
Right.
with their name.
Totally.
I like when everything's
I like that.
compartmentalized like that.
Yeah. And then, enter the scene. Bonnie Rayburn. She's supposed to be like the babelicious babe on this ranch.
I thought she was cute, I guess, but again, I guess especially because it was in the 90s, especially because it was a movie, which means it was made by men. She had no dimension to her. Just
She's an object.
She's there to be.
She's an object that's bouncing up and down on a saddle, and
just there to fill the feminine void. They don't bother like making her into anything.
Fill the feminine void.
You gonna make a joke about you filling the feminine void?
I wanted to.
I know you did. I saw it on your face.
We also meet the two most despicable cowboys. They say their names early on. It's like TJ and BJ or something like that. But for the rest of the time that I'm taking my notes, I just like kept on making, because like they're despicable, like sexually assaultive men by nature, as you can tell. I kept on just making up names for them and stuff. So what did I get? I got No Means Yes and the Date Rape Kid. Thought that was okay. All right. Steve's biting his lips. All right. The things I do for you.
Are you
The risks I take for you.
You continuing with that bit, or was that my reaction just put a stop to it? You're crossing out all of them.
You're my only audience, Steve.
You have tens of people that will listen. Come on. Think of them.
Tough Corral. Billy Crystal did that joke.
I would.
That was perfect. I'm so happy with myself.
I wish I could insert 10 minutes of silence into the podcast after that bomb.
I love Tough Corral. Okay. And then we meet Curly at that point. So the Cowboys are being despicable and I don't know, bothering Bonnie Rayburn or whatever her name is. And then Curly shows up, your boy Curly, and intervenes.
Yeah.
By what does he do? He lassos them to the fence or something? I don't even remember what he does exactly.
He does something very severe. No, he throws a knife between the guy's
legs. Does he shake
legs.
his fist at them?
Does
he wave a cane at them?
Man, you don't like Curly.
I hate Curly.
God, Curly was so good. However, I did find it problematic with their whole ideas of masculinity constantly being put on display in this movie.
Go on.
Little references oh, that's not what a real man does, or man, he's the manliest man I've ever seen, or whatever. And it's
right.
But what are you celebrating? Okay, he was violent. He threw a knife at someone.
Right.
Wow, he's so manly. And that's the fucking problem in the world today, and for all of eternity. It's been masculinity and being manly is coveted by men, but what does it really mean? It just means being violent and being reckless and being disrespectful to women.
Oof. Man, Bummer Town.
Oh boy,
Population
happy birthday.
Let me ask you this. So once Curly dies, okay, we have our patriarch is dead. Thank God. Hated Curly. Can't stand him. Give him an Oscar. Get him. Fucking bury his body.
Yeah.
And then, who do we got? We got our Billy, we got our Bruno, and we got our Daniel. They're going to drive the cattle the rest of the way because the two date rape cowboys are gone. What do you think their journey is implying about masculinity, because they're no longer getting violent. They're like, I think they're like coming up against their limitations and like having to like try to like, I guess, overcome them and like overcome their own like fear of their shortcomings or something. But
Right.
like, you know, like,
No,
I'm
that
thinking of the scene where they're like fording the river and all that.
Right.
So.
I must say that it was cool because I feel like for the filmmakers it might have been tempting, or the writers or whoever, it might have been tempting to be like, okay, how can we make these guys like find themselves or become like curly, become manly? Oh, let's like have them have to stand up to someone and kill someone or beat someone up. No, they didn't go that route. They went the route of like, oh, let's make them ford a river or something like that. So that was cool that they didn't go the obvious / toxic masculinity route.
That was cool.
It's pretty cool.
That was cool, Professor Galbraith. Hey, Professor Galbraith, can I get an extension on my paper about the feminine void? You don't like that. You're mad.
I'm mad that I don't have a comeback.
One scene, I know we talked about Curly dying, but I do want to jump back to when there's a scene where it's just him and Billy. This kind of gets back to the masculinity thing, but like Curly's like, Billy, lasso that cow that got away. He gets off the horse, and then he just puts the lasso over the head, which I like.
Good.
I like that a lot. Curly, that motherfucker, whistles. Billy gets pulled by the cow, and he's going like,
I'm on vacation. Oh,
Yeah.
I got it.
Hey, you got that down, man. You should do it at your party later.
And then I guess the only two things I want to focus about on the scene. The only two things I want to focus on in the scene are, one, Curly doing his little finger thing where he's like, that's the one thing.
Yeah.
I want to
Key to life.
I want to dig into that. And then the other thing is Billy Crystal delivering a newborn calf
Oof.
and just having shit from north to south on his goddamn arm. It's disgusting. It's like it's a quick take, but it's like clear like bean dip shit on his.
No, it was like clear, like Vaseline
No, it
looking
wasn't.
stuff. No,
it wasn't. There was definitely like just brown.
Let's go to the tape. Go to the tape.
Listeners, I'm pretending to look into the corner where the tape would be playing if we
I'm
had
looking at a different corner.
If this was a sports podcast. It's not. Yeah, the referees are saying that it is
Actually,
shit on his arm.
I have a little yellow marker, a little yellow digital marker, and I'm circling and then putting an X somewhere else. No, it was like clear. It was like
That joke was for our sports fans.
it was like, hey, sports fans, welcome to
Whoa.
Nobody's Deathmatch.
After dark, sports fans.
It was like clearly placenta. I don't know, like
We're gonna go back and look at it later. After this.
afterbirth type stuff.
Oh God, you're so out of your element. You don't even know what you're talking about.
I know afterbirth. All right.
Anyways, it was gross. I didn't like seeing Billy's arm covered.
Why would he have shit? It's not born out of the butthole.
No, it's not. But like, have you ever taken a goddamn science class where they teach this sex ed?
Cow
They
sex
teach you
ed.
cow sex ed. They teach you that when things are born, the mother who is delivering, basically, sphincter just unleashes.
The mother doesn't deliver,
The mother doesn't deliver.
Mr. Expert.
What do you mean the mother doesn't deliver?
You just said the mother that is delivering. Forget it. Forget the whole thing.
What do you mean she is delivering? Who
When
are you
you-
saying the father's delivering?
When you deliver a baby, it's you accepting it. It's
No,
you
I
taking
disagree.
it. You are birthing.
Delivering. That's like a stork. A stork delivers the baby. The stork is
bringing
the
the stork
mother's.
into it.
Yeah, the mother's vagina is a stork, basically, in that metaphor. Okay, so Curly's one thing. So Curly says something to the extent of like, I kind of like his story about how the one woman that he loved, he never even talked to. It was just like some woman that he saw, and she was just like looking beautiful.
That was good.
And then he walked away, and Billy was like, "Well, why didn't you like try to procreate with her or something?" And fill me in. What happened? Curly says,
I love that thing that I can't
"I love
remember.
that."
Like he didn't need to interact with her for that memory to be any. Like he doesn't need the memory to be any better. Like the memory is sufficient in and of itself.
Yeah, and I like that.
Like he fell in love with her and he's still
But
in
I
love
thought-
with her.
No, and I love that. Well told, Curly Galbraith. But what's the one thing? Like, how does that connect to it? Because he says, I know that the one thing is like, okay, here's the one thing is what brings meaning to your life, right?
Yeah.
Curly's. I don't know what Curly's one thing was.
I don't think you're supposed to.
Billy's one thing later,
Is his wife and kids.
which I hate. And we're gonna get to the end of the movie once we get to the end of the podcast. But the ending of the movie again, just terrible.
Yeah.
Don't care. Don't like it. What's your one thing?
I was just gonna ask you. Ah, man.
Butts,
Yeah, maybe butts.
big ones.
Kind of like normal sized butts, tight butts,
No.
loose butts,
Loose stools.
hammer pants butts.
Gross.
I don't know what my one thing is yet. I'm only 31, so I think I got some time. Probably kindness. That's what gives my life meaning. What's your one thing?
Still looking for it.
Oof, man. Dude, I'm feeling you right now. So fucking real right now.
Send in 12 dozen roses to Sensitive Boy. Thank you. And then that scene ends with Curly. So Norman, the cow, has been born.
Yes.
Norman.
Good name.
And then Curly proceeds to shoot the mom cow while like this bro jam plays, and he like embraces Billy, and while like Norman is looking on, just being like,
As Norman looks on.
You shot my mom.
Yeah.
it's weird. Didn't really add up.
Why doesn't that add up?
The music isn't really
the
really
music.
appropriate.
Okay. Yeah, well, the music was... Who did this music for this film?
Daniel Stern.
One of the last real men. That's another quote.
Oh, something that came up too. So back to like Indiana Jones, how that's all about like father-son relationships. There's some weird father-son stuff in here too. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
All the men, Bruno, Daniel, and Billy, they all have like little stories about like
Oh, they
what they
do
remember
a-
of their dads.
They pull
So,
a
like,
Breakfast Club as they're
Billy,
riding along.
Billy remembers going to a baseball game with his dad. That's his big thing, I think. Or maybe it's Daniel talks about like going to a baseball game or something. That's what it is. So the babe of the week in this movie, Bonnie Klondike. I don't know what her name is. Who cares? She is like, I don't know, boys. What's the deal with baseball? I'm just a objectified woman. And Daniel Stern's like, baseball gave me and my dad something to talk about. We never said
Yeah.
two words about ourselves to each other, but baseball we connected with. And I was like, oh, that's fucking sad as fuck.
Yep.
And then
Also,
Bruno-
who cares if you're talking about something if you're talking about something totally shallow constantly and never have anything with any significance? Well, I was going to say I was going to finish what I was talking about, but
listeners, we just crossed swords. That was
You're,
the.
your hand was looming over me. I couldn't think of what to say anymore.
And then Bruno has a story about his dad basically like leaving his family, and that one's really sad too.
Yeah.
I don't know how that adds to his origin story. Winking at Steve because he hates origin stories.
Shaking my head at
Licking
Eric
my
because
lips.
I hate Eric. Licking my lips.
Note to self: wait to say that sentence until you're done licking lips.
I had kind of a flashback moment when there was that showdown thing with Ben and Jerry when he was like naming what ice cream goes with each dish, and Billy Crystal and him had the little showdown. You remember that part?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
But there was a time when they're like zooming in on their faces to like, you know, the intensity of a showdown, and they zoom in on that guy's big face, and it's just that whole frame is like his big face with his little eyeglasses.
His face is like spilling off of like the silver screen. That's the sound of his face spilling off.
And like that face,
fat.
that face is what did it for me. Like that, it took me back. It was a deep cut for me.
It took you back to what? To having a face? What the fuck are you talking about, man?
No, that was like the part that stuck in me, a memory shard from that movie. So hot in here.
Do you want to finish your memory shard rant? Memory shard. That's like something. That's like a Final Fantasy VII element that you would find. Yes, I have the memory shard.
Now I can go to the dungeon and get some XP. No, okay, let me try to simplify. Give me one more chance here,
All right.
coach. Just put me in one more time. When you're younger, you watch movies and there's certain pieces like that can be totally random that just stick in your head. And then when you see them later, that little piece is like stronger or more vibrant in your...
Yeah.
Yeah. So his face was just like a random thing that stuck in my head. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, wow, now I remember what it was like watching it when I was a kid.
Oh, okay. So kind of it was like almost like a Wrinkle in Time or something. Like it like brought you back to
Almost like
being
a memory shard.
Here's another quote by Daniel Stern that I liked. Again, it's him just doing his inventory of like, here are my shortcomings, which I fucking love. This is after he's disabled. I don't know why I always use that word. He's intervened and taken down the two shitty ass cowboys who are like tormenting Norman by putting a gun in his mouth. Fuck those guys.
And they also use the line shit-nosed little faggot.
They call Billy Crystal a little faggot. Yeah, it's a fucked up scene.
Yeah.
X-rated.
90s.
90s. You can get away with that kind of stuff.
Jewish.
And then Daniel Stern intervenes, and again, it's the whole being a man is, well, I don't know. I don't think it is the same as being a man as being necessarily violent or whatever, but it's like there's no other way to deal with those two cowboys other than fucking them up. So Daniel Stern like knocks the guy on his ass, and then it's like, I never liked bullies or whatever. But then my favorite part, all my favorite parts of Daniel Stern. I just want a Daniel Stern reel of all of his City Slicker stuff. He's like, I've had enough of this, and he's like going back into the tent after he's like saved the day. I lost my wife. I lost my job, and I've got some sort of rash from making in the bushes. Making I guess taking a crap in the bushes or something is what he's saying.
Yeah.
I love him.
Pretty
Love you,
level.
Daniel.
Wherever you are. Going back really quickly.
Wait, I want to say something real quick. It's right after the scene. We're going to go back. Hold on. We'll go back. Let me go forward, and then we'll go back.
You win this round.
So right after,
and every other round.
The cock cowboys have left. The cock boys have left, and then Billy Crystal they're like deciding like, what are we gonna do? Who's gonna drive the cattle? No, should we just leave the cattle here? Yeah. And Billy Crystal says, Curly said they're like, because they don't know where they're going. They have like no map or a GPS or anything. They're like, so he says, Curly said there was a river and a valley. So we'll just do the best we can. And I wrote, it sounded like a Bill Callahan line to me. You remember Bill? You know Bill Callahan?
Yeah.
Isn't that like kind of nice and like earthy? It's a nice earthy line.
Yeah.
All right, now we can go back to whatever the fuck you want to talk about.
Keep scribbling, boy. No, I just wanted to add to something.
Can I go pee real quick?
Great.
Going pee.
Maybe I'll just talk while you're gone, so you won't interrupt me.
Oh.
Unless you can interrupt me from the other room somehow.
The floor is yours.
Very good.
You got one item left in your notes?
Yeah. And I see you have 27.
They're numbered. Oh, no, I'm almost done. Oh, this is great. Well, hold on. There's a lot more to talk about.
Well, we don't have that much time, my friend.
Wait, when's Meat Boy getting here?
5 o'clock.
Oh, we're fine.
So I just got a text a while ago from Meredith. She says, "What you guys doing today?" And I was going to reply to her on air.
Whoa!
So when she listens later, it'll just be so crazy.
Whoa! Like she'll actually feel like she's a part of the
Yeah.
magic.
We are recording, and as she's listening to this, she can go back in her text and look at this text.
Right.
I already sent it. There you go, Meredith.
You piece of shit.
Choke on it, Meredith.
Did you say choke on it?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Choke on that joke. They ford the river with the cattle.
Ford the river.
It's just the three boys and the cattle and the river and the rain and their masculinity. They ford the river. They successfully do it. Yeehaw!
Oh my god, she just texted back, "Can you make a joke about having to send a text real fast?"
What?
I win.
Man. Do you want to be the halt to my oats?
Wait. Yeah.
No.
If
Well,
you're-
no, I want to. Your oats to my halt.
Your oats, fucker.
River. Ow.
River's oats.
I'll dance in the hole.
Oh, dance in the hole, boy.
Are we back?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm starting to work up a.
I feel like I've been playing basketball. My forehead's
with the boys.
my I need to be wearing my headband. They ford the river. My only notes from that whole scene that I would like to share with you is Billy Crystal sexier when wet? Question mark? Because it takes care of all the weird curly
Yeah.
grossness, and then
Yeah.
he's also by that time he has like a 5 o'clock shadow.
Yeah, right.
He's looking better.
He's definitely looking better. I noticed that too.
Next question.
That's when I started
Bruno's
stroking. God. This is
next
when we get
question.
really
We'll just
sexual about everything.
moving forward. Bruno's mustache enlarges when wet.
It enlarges me when it's wet.
Daniel Stern's eyeglasses 1 hour photo when wet. They get all foggy and creepy and big. It's all creepy. I feel like he's looking at my photos from my vacation.
Uh-huh.
Kind of a weird veganism moral. A little
Yeah.
bit.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's like clearly Billy, Bruno, and Daniel, you guys are eating burgers like left and right
Yeah.
all day long.
And
Sun up to
even
sundown,
some
you're eating
little-
burgers. And now that you've like forged? No, now that you've forged.
Fjord.
Now that you've bjorked a bond with these cows, you all of a sudden are like, oh, cows are people too.
Right.
Don't kill them. And then actually,
But don't kill that one.
don't kill. Oh yeah. So okay, I'm gonna
Oh.
confession.
One
Here's the
thing.
one thing. Here's the one confession. I did get teary-eyed at one part of this movie.
Oh my god.
Trivia question: what part was it? When did I get teary-eyed?
Fuck. Let me think for a second.
You have all the time in the world, at least until 5 o'clock when Meat Boy gets here.
Meat boy.
Meat Boy.
Oh, meat boy.
Where's my meat boy? Hey, boy.
Where's my meat boy?
Meat boy. You can put the meat down there.
where the meat goes.
Oh, do you have to leave just yet? Meat boy. Okay, the part that you got teary-eyed.
As you pull on your long locks of hair.
I don't know. I don't even want to guess.
Okay, that's fine.
Just tell me. Just give it to me.
It's after they've been told, like, yeah, the cows are going to be butchered because they're cows.
Right.
That's what you're bringing them here. Well, no, I think they're what. And it's nighttime. Billy sees that Norman, his little cow boyfriend, comes over to the comes over to the fence and is like, meep, 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 and very, like, you know, kind of vulnerable and sad or whatever. And then Billy goes over and like pets him, and it's like an emotional thing. And he's like, I don't want you to die, kind of thing. And ends up, obviously, like, spoiler alert, he apparently buys Norman off of the ranch guy and brings him home with him. But for whatever godforsaken reason that I have an emotional core of my body, I was affected by that. And I got teary-eyed by the unnatural love between a calf and a man. I was like, there's like... This movie, there's like people who die, or well, there's only one guy who dies. Didn't care about him. Didn't care about a grown man dying. But I'm like emotionally affected by calf man love.
Yeah, I was not moved during that part.
No.
I did appreciate how committed Billy Crystal was to that scene. I mean, he just got his face all up in that cow face. He didn't care. True tenderness from a true actor.
Well, here's how you know it's true, too, because Billy Crystal took it upon himself to make sure that every cow who's in that movie ended up being, like, sent to, like, a safe haven, whatever, a refugee camp for cows or something. I don't know. But they, like, the cows were not... No cows in this movie were harmed.
Which is an excellent segue to the last item on my notes. In my notes. Which was PETA like not around during this era or what? Because these animals get fucked up.
I just said that none of the cows were harmed. You're really ruining my reputation.
Right.
With PETA.
Well, I thought you just kind of were talking out of your ass there.
Well, normally I am.
Because like Norman especially like practically drowned the thing just to get certain
that's true.
shots done. Like he's crying. It's not like he's a fucking actor and he's crying pretend. He's like crying while he's in the river like drowning. He's like,
I didn't even think about that.
It's like he's suffering.
That was a really good Norman impression.
Thanks.
Holy shit, you just found your wheelhouse. Can't do Yeardley Smith, but you can do Norman pretty good.
But he doesn't know it's a movie. He doesn't know he's still safe. Like,
right.
That was fucked up.
Oh,
And
you're bringing a tear to my eye.
Do you want to go spoon? But I was just kind of amazed at what they got away with the animal treatment.
Yeah, I wasn't really watching with that lens on, but that, what you're saying makes sense to me.
Oh, really? You didn't have that lens on?
As I put my finger in my ear,
didn't have that lens
just so
on?
I don't hear you.
The animals don't have a choice. They always have that lens. Okay?
Sorry, Professor.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the very end of the movie. How about we're there, basically?
Yeah.
Right? The disappointing, shitty-ass end. They all get home. Bruno's happy ending is that he's going to impregnate his hot model wife. Way to go, Bruno.
Good
Get
job.
it. Daniel Stern gets the girl. He gets the object. He gets the female object on a saddle. And then Billy Crystal has the most disappointing of the endings because it's like, okay, it seems like he gets it. It seems like, okay, he's had his hero's journey and is like, oh, I get what matters now. There's no reason for me to be working on this shitty advertisement job. He seems to still have some kind of love for his wife and his kids. Like, I'm not expecting him to like cut the cord on them and take off and whatever, just be a cowboy or whatever. But his wife tells him like, you know, it's fine if you want to quit your job. Like, this is your get out of wife jail-free card, and he turns it down and is like, no, I'm going to be a better... I hate it. It's a weird like American dream, like indoctrination sort of speech where he's like, no, I'm going to be a better husband. I'm going to be a better father. I'm going to be a better worker.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a better American. I'm going to just like go back to my shitty job and clock in the hours and give it.
It's more of a surrender, that part of it.
Yeah.
Better husband, better father, great, but no, I'm gonna stay in this job that I hate, but just do it.
It doesn't really check out. Yeah.
Yeah.
That didn't really, like, you agree that didn't really.
Yeah. Bad job, Billy Crystal. I agree.
Trivia.
That's the trivia around music?
You want to do another cut?
I mean, I'm not gonna synthesize all that. I don't know how to play. It has to be like quick and not make any sense. Yeah.
Trivia.
Well, that's just a backwards scale. Come on.
Oh. Here we go. Which actor on the cast of City Slickers?
Jack Palance! One for one!
Which actor declined the riding lessons offered for the movie in order to better convey his character's inexperience at horse riding?
Daniel Tosh. Daniel Stern.
Oh, I'm going to kill you. No. But yes, it was Daniel Stern. You're right. I will not kill you.
One for one.
I kind of already told you about Billy Crystal buying the horse he liked.
He bought the horse he liked. 2 for 2.
Rick Moranis was cast in a major role but left the project because why? This is horrible.
It's I was gonna say he had like a previous commitment to Honey I Shrunk the Kids or something, but now it seems like he was sick.
Go for the obvious. What's the obvious? What? He's a healthy man. Somebody in his life was not healthy.
His dad died.
Wife diagnosed with cancer.
Oh, okay.
We all lose on that one.
Yeah, cutting that one out.
All right.
Great.
Which actor was extremely allergic to horses? It's not who you think.
It can't be Jack Palance.
No.
So I'm gonna say
Jack Palance was basically he's lived his life on a horse. Right. Like have you ever seen Shane?
He is the Brute Squad.
What?
Shane? No, I haven't seen.
You haven't seen Shane? Well, shut up then.
Daniel Stern was already an answer. Fucking Rube Goldberg or whatever his name is.
Bruno Kirby?
Yeah.
Nailed it!
3 for 3.
Wait, Rube Goldberg. Oh. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah. All right. What percentage of his own stunts did Billy Crystal do? Keeping in mind, Keanu Reeves did 90% of his own stunts on Speed.
Yeah.
What did Billy Crystal do?
I actually took note of that as I was watching. Like, there were a couple shots I was like, wow, he's getting swept away in a river. And then, I was like, I think that's really Billy Crystal. Billy Crystals. I'm going to say 61.5.
I thought you were going to get it. He did all the stunts. He did all his own stunts. He's the last action hero.
He actually got dragged.
He got dragged. Yeah. He did all of his own stunts.
Incredible. I don't even mind missing that one.
And that says even here. Most notably, when he loops the rope around the cattle's head and Curly whistles, making the cow take off, dragging Billy Crystal behind.
What a fucking great guy.
Right? Oh, we already know about Yeardley Smith being Lisa Simpson. You already nailed that.
I nailed
name
it. 3 for 4.
Name I think 2 would be too easy. Name 3 other projects that Daniel Stern has been involved with.
Home Alone.
Okay, you got 1.
Home Alone 2.
All right, I don't have it on the list, but I know you're... I fact-checked my brain, and that's right, yeah.
I know I've seen him in something other than Home Alone and City
Yeah,
Slickers.
but he's kind of hard to nail down.
Oh my god. Daniel, where are you?
You put your like candle in the window for Daniel. Just a candle in the wind.
Oh, there was one. Oh my god, it's almost there. He like oh man. Home Alone 3.
No. There probably is one, but no, that's not on there. He also did he narrated Wonder Years as Kevin Arnold, but who cares? He was also in one of my favorite childhood movies, Little Monsters, which we will be doing
Never seen it.
later. That's fine. I don't care. I've seen it plenty of times, and then you'll see it.
Okay.
He was in Little Monsters. He was also in Hannah and Her Sisters. Woody Allen?
Nope.
Okay. And then he was also in Chud.
That's it?
You know Chud?
No.
Cannibalistic Humanoid Underground Dwellers.
Okay, failed that one.
And that concludes the trivia round.
Hey!
Wasn't that the quickest trivia I've ever done? You're welcome.
Yes, you're very good, Eric.
You're welcome, audience. You're very good boy.
Good boy.
Good meat boy.
Good boy. Good meat boy.
That's a good meat boy. Oh. It's a good meat boy.
You're a real good meat boy.
I like yours so much better. All right, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Eric, what are your final thoughts
City
on
Slickers.
City Slickers?
Worst opening
The
20 minutes,
slickest of
worst
cities.
closing 10 minutes, everything in between. I'll take it.
Serviceable.
Oh yeah, the thumbs. Okay, City Slickers. I was about to say Curly Slickers.
3 crooked thumbs
That should be the
up.
third City Slickers. Curly Slickers. Curly has a curly hair. Curly has a curly gold hair and curly. He okay, thumbs. Oh yeah, I just do one. City Slickers gets a thumb that's at an angle of about 75 degrees. No, 60 degrees. Yeah, I just remembered the Ziggy opening, and that brought it down to 60 degrees. Steve, where's your thumb at? In your butt. Butt thumb. Steve the butt thumb. Thumb butter. Butter thumb.
Like so many films that we've talked about on this podcast, there was healthy doses of misogyny. Healthy doses of racial insensitivity.
Right?
Healthy doses of toxic masculinity. So,
Did you come up with that term, toxic masculinity? It's really good.
No, it's around.
Really?
Read a book, maybe. Okay, buddy.
So those things aside, is there anything salvageable?
I mean, those things always bring it down for me, but I can still enjoy it. There's still good jokes. You know, I still listen to Michael Jackson's music, etc.
What? Do I look like I listen to Michael Jackson?
No, it's too long to explain.
Oh, you're talking about his like weird.
It'll be a little
You're talking about
inside joke
his weirdness,
with listeners and I.
like the child stuff. Is that what you're talking about?
Meredith will get it. And she's the only one that listens anyway, so.
Meredith,
Where are you?
So is that it?
Meredith's probably baking a big birthday pie for you right now.
Is she a city slicker? Do you think?
No.
Am I a city slicker?
No.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Because I don't think there's any good connotation of city slicker.
Yeah, no.
This means you're a rotten apple.
I think it means you're a poser. Or maybe you're just ignorant of the ways of the ranch.
I think it just means I think it means you're like kind of quote unquote soft. Like you've just like been living in your.
You're pampered.
You're pampered. Yeah, you've been living in your your duplex. You've been living in your duplex. You've been living in your condo. You've been living in your condo with your piano and your busts of your own head and your.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. Good show.
Good show. Good boy. Good show.
Good.